Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings for Everton 1, Southampton 0. A hard-fought win for Everton. A home win, finally. A home win in the Premier League. The first since we beat Arsenal in December. So that's good. That's a good way to start the month, isn't it? It's a good way to start the month. Keep that positivity going, and hopefully that continues to into the weekend. If we get 3 points against West Brom, hopefully. Let's get into it. Jordan Pickford. I'm giving Jordan Pickford a 9. Probably two of his best consistent performances, I'd say, for Everton for a long time. And I just think that save at the end is hugely important. Hugely important. Well, it is, isn't it? It wins us the game. It gets us 3 points. Seen him hobbling at the end as well. He's took a bit of a dig as well. And listen, he hasn't had loads to do, but I think that's the making of a better goalkeeper. I think when you haven't had loads to do and you make a save when it's needed, I think that's the mark of a good goalkeeper. A lot of people in the comments saying Holgate, Lawrence, and who else is saying it? It's mostly Lawrence. He's just saying it loads of times. Glenn saying Pickford. Dylan saying Gomez. Scintillating Skills saying Gomez. Harry Mitchell says Richarlison or Holgate. But I just think when when it's the last minute of a game and you get called upon and you haven't had to make a save for the entire game, I think it's huge. Huge. So I've given him a 9. Also, his kicking was absolutely spot on tonight. His kicking was brilliant. It was so important. His kicking tonight. Some of his passes to get us up the pitch were really, really good passing. We've seen it from other players, but from other goalies. The City goalie and stuff. But yeah, I thought he was excellent. Mason Holgate. Yeah, he had a good game. Mason Holgate. I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he was won all his battles. Good in possession. Yeah, the only thing missing with Mason, and it's not really his fault, is if he could get forward more, it'd be so important for the team if he could get forward. But he's a centre back playing right back. I thought he was solid tonight, and he won all his battles. So 7.5. Michael Keane, a 7. Steady all night. Unlucky not to get a goal. Obviously Mason Holgate had drifted offside. I think if we'd scored at that point, I think we would have gone on and won the game. Really, really comfortably. Really comfortably. I think that would be the difference. If he'd scored that, I think we would have won the game really, really, really comfortably. So I've given him a 7. Ben Godfrey, a 7 as well. Both of them didn't give Ings a sniff. Godfrey's really getting comfortable in that position now. His pace is a huge thing for me. Doesn't get him out of trouble, gets us out of trouble. So I've given him a 7. And Luca Dean, I think a 7 as well. Not really much between them. Only time I think he got skinned once and brought the lad down. That was the only thing I think he did all wrong all night, to be honest. So I'll give him a 7. Alan, I'll give him a 7. Steady. Most of the time good on the ball. Yes, the odd mistake, but listen, the fella's been out for 10 weeks. It's expected that he's going to make the odd mistake. But showed you what we've been missing in terms of going hunting for the ball, coming deep, taking the ball off the centre-backs and then going forward. I'd still like to see him playing ahead of Tom Davis. I really would. And Tom Davis just sitting back. I think that would give us so much security. Lots of people saying Gomez, though. Barry, Dave... Davo saying Gomez, Mark saying Gomez, Finley saying Holgate, Yanto says Alan, 9 man of the match. I don't think he was a 9. I think he was pretty steady, but our midfield couldn't keep hold of the ball, so I don't think anyone on our midfield would deserve a 9, but I've given him a 7. Decore, a 6. Listen, all action all over the pitch. But I think he's got to start just holding on to the ball a bit better. I think he gives the ball away cheaply too many times when he's under absolutely no danger. And I think in some games, when you don't need him to be that player, he's running all over the pitch. I think you just need him to keep the ball better. Mathew says man of the match, Pickford. Lynn, Holgate poor again. No, he wasn't. He wasn't. Lynn, come on. I know you really want him back at West Brom, but he wasn't poor. He wasn't poor. So Decore, I give a 6. Andre Gomez, I've given him an 8. Won a lot of his battles, kept the ball really well. I'd like him to be a little bit quicker, but I think he plays in his own little bubble at times. But I thought he had a good game. I thought he dealt with their midfield really well. And some of his passing at times was really nice. The crossfield passing, a couple of round the corners to get Richarlison away. And I just thought he was very comfortable. I thought he looked very comfortable all night in the midfield. So I have given him an 8. Gylfi, a 6. Great ball for the goal, but I just don't think he ever really settled into the game, into that position. In terms of an attacker, I don't think he did too much wrong. I don't think he got us going enough times. It was a bit congested in that midfield, more of a diamond than anything else. But I just don't think he could get in the game, especially second half. I just don't think he could get in the game. I think the ball went over his head more than anything. And I think before we got the ball to him, we were more likely to give it back to the centre-backs and then back to the goalkeeper. So I think it was a little bit, I think it's a bit unfortunate. I don't think he played poorly. I just don't think he looked, it just didn't feel like he was in the game enough. It'll probably work out that he was in the game loads and I should look at my stats, but I don't tend to do that. But listen, I'm not slating Gylfi Sigurdsson by any means. Not by any means at all. I just think he found it hard to get into the game tonight. Honestly, I just felt he just couldn't quite get in the game tonight. Wasn't his kind of game. Simple as that. So I'm not having a go with him. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given him a 7. Worked the socks off all night. Did brilliantly for the goal. Leaping up, winning the ball a couple of times in the air, putting that lad under pressure. That lad didn't fancy it at all. And I think he just worked hard. And again, bit like Gylfi, but he was in the game a little bit more. We just couldn't get him the ball enough. And Richarlison, I've given him an 8. I think it was similar, but of course he scores the winning goal. Listen, I know Gylfi Sigurdsson got an assist. I said that. I said he got an assist. I'm not being harsh on him. I'm just saying that I just don't think he could get in the game enough. I've actually bumped this score up for the assist. And I'm not being harsh on him. I'm not being harsh on him. I just didn't feel like he was in the game enough. Didn't control the game enough, that's all. Not having a go at him. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I've given him a 7. And as I said, Richarlison, I've given him an 8. Took his goal brilliantly. Worked his socks off all night. The same as Dom. Had to do a lot on their own. They were never at the end of anything because no one ever made them anything. But it was one of those nights we couldn't get the ball through midfield to create chances in the final third. I mean, Dylan said it perfectly. Sigurdsson was quiet. That's all he was. He was just quiet. But as I said, Richarlison's finish was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That's a player in confidence. And I never doubted it. At all. When he was having his little barren spell. And he's obviously worked it so that the manager wants to play both of them up. Now, we'll have to see how that works for those two. It's ideal, but if you can't get the ball to them, that's the problem, isn't it? You've got to be able to get the ball to them. Kev, you're right. You win ugly, but it's a win. So yeah, it was just one of those nights. We got the 3 points. It doesn't really matter. The subs, Awobi, I'm going to give him a 7 because of what he did in the corner in the last minute. Which means I'm gonna have to give Gylfi Sigurdsson a 7, aren't I? I don't, should I or shouldn't I? I'll give Gylfi a 7 as well, because I'm gonna give Iwobi a 7. But Iwobi, brilliant, keeping the ball in the corner. Fair play to him. All his little tricks to keep the ball in the corner. And I'm not going to give King anything because he wasn't on the pitch long enough, and I don't know if he touched it. So there you go. But yeah, we've won the game. It's 3 points. Charlison scores. That's good. And we're up to 43 points, and we need 7 more wins to get us to... Well, it's 6 more wins, really, isn't it? But if we got 7, we'd be flying. But if we can get 7 wins, then we're really in a good shout for European football. If we get 6, then that'll put us on 60, 61, won't it? So that's doable, surely. 6 wins is doable, surely. We'll have to wait and see. But win games ugly. If we'd won the game against Newcastle and the game against Fulham and the game against West Ham ugly, we'd be absolutely flying, wouldn't we? But we didn't. But that's sometimes what you think. Listen, someone's just put in the comments, you and he put them in big capitals. You're deluded if you think we'll actually finish top 4. We got lucky today, be real. But number 1, we didn't get lucky today because what did they do? And number 2, right, if we win enough games, we'll get top 4. It doesn't actually matter how we play. We can play good and lose games. So it doesn't actually matter how we play. If we win 6 games, we'll have over 60 points. That's there or thereabouts for Europe. If we win 7 or 8 games, then we're in a good chance for Champions League. How many games have we played poorly and won? A lot. A lot. So don't write us off for anything. West Ham are top 4 at the moment. If we win 6 or 7 games, then we've got a chance. But we have to win those 6 or 7 games. Someone's asked me about Josh King. I think Josh King is not fit, and he needs to get fit. Otherwise, he's running out of games. But who knows, he might start against West Brom. There you go. But all I know is Carlo Ancelotti's win percentage is around 50%, which is absolutely amazing. And we keep on being... Oh, shut up. We keep on not playing that well and winning games. I mean, listen, no one is deluded here. I've just told you, and you don't have to shout in capitals. If we win 6 or 7 games, we will get Europe. I didn't say we will win 6 or 7 games. I said if we win 6 or 7. I said if. That's not we will. If we win 6 or 7 games, we've got a great chance for Europe. Now, Europe might be 7th place. Europe might be 6th place. Europe might be 5th place. Europe might be 4th place. We've got to win 6 or 7 games for that to happen. Dead simple. So we'll wait and see. But there's no point going, we won't do nothing. Well, what kind of attitude is that? To say we won't do nothing? What kind of attitude? We've got 43 points at this stage in the season. And we'll just keep going and we will see what will happen. We will see what will happen. If we win on Thursday, then we'll only need 5 wins or 6 wins. We'll only need 5 wins for 60 points. We wait and see. Nobody sitting here thinks we are guaranteed to do anything. The only way you are guaranteed is if you win the games. That's it. That's it. You have to win the games. And we've got a game in hand, which obviously, listen, you've got to win your game in hand. There's no point going, you've got a game in hand. You've got to win your game in hand. So that'll be against Villa. Just keep going every game. If we stay solid and we have those two up front, we've always got a chance. We always got a chance. There's no reason. Listen, if West Ham think they can get top 4, if Liverpool think they can get top 4, if Chelsea think they can get top 4, if Tottenham think they can get top 4, then Everton should be thinking they can get top 4. Because at this stage of the season, There's not much between us. Not much at all. There's a couple of points that way and a couple of points that way. So there you go. I mean, someone's saying they think 69 points will get fourth. I mean, maybe it will. The point being this season is because everyone's beating each other, will it be that high? You know, we missed out on Europe by getting over 70 points once. Do you know what I mean? And then we got fourth one year by getting 61 points. It's not an exact science, but all you can do is keep going and win games of football. So there you go. There you go. That's me. Thank you for watching. Lovely to have you all in the comments. Don't ask me any more questions. I'm only supposed to talk about man of the match in this video. I mean, someone's asked me would I rather sign Max Aarons or Rabiot. Well, considering they play in completely different positions, that doesn't really make sense. The podcast, what's happening with the podcast? Well, the podcast has been off because we've had so many midweek games, so it wasn't really any point doing a podcast because it would be literally out of date within a day. But if you join us on Patreon, every show is a podcast. Every single show is made into podcast. So there you go. There you go. Don't forget, make sure to check out my Instant Match Reaction. Check out Baz's videos. If you're on Patreon, Ned has got a new video, or he's looking for patrons to do videos for him. I don't know, one or the other. I've left them to it. We'll be doing the Final Word live tomorrow over on Patreon. To get the full version and your comments read out, join us on Patreon. It's only £3 or so a month. It's like £3.50, I think, because of dollars. There you go. Someone just said, trust the process. Are you an Everton fan? Listen, we have got Carlo Ancelotti in charge. And Glenn, what am I supposed to do about me hair, man? I can't get to a barber's. Have you seen how thick it is? There's nothing I can do about me hair. It's just continuing growing, and I'm not shaving it off because I shaved it off last time, and it was great for about 5 minutes, but then it was doing me head in. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's just the way it is, isn't it? It's just we're in lockdown, and it's just my hair is just growing. I mean, someone's calling someone deluded, and I haven't got a clue. There you go. Matty's video's out apparently on Patreon. You have to go and check it out on Patreon. That's the only place to get it. Matty's video is so exclusive. We only put it on Patreon. There you go. We won a game of football. Be happy. Be happy. And make sure to check out all our videos. Give this video a like. If you liked us winning, give it a like. Subscribe. And, yeah. I'll see you later. See you later.